What's going on, Fire Nation? It's your boy Rico, along my little big cousin G Baby and our boy Raul, the Zookeeper, and we are the Friendly Fire Podcast, the hottest podcast on either side of the Mississippi. Episode 61, baby. Such 61. A random offensive lineman number.
Yeah, shout out to offensive lineman.
Shout out all the whole linemen. How y'all doing today, fellas? Wellness check.
Doing pretty good. Doing well.
Zoo, talk to me.
I'm doing fantastic.
So Zoo has been, we talk about concerts, like we're gonna get into it, but Zoo has been like a concert savant over this little weekend, just like or years especially, but he pulled off a three-peat.
Oh yeah, he did
three in a row. So yeah, that was
for Chicago.
That was your own private festival. So let's just hop into it. As you guys may have seen off of Instagram, the boys invaded Milwaukee for Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers concert. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Brought my wife along. A lot of fun. I had a great experience. We'll let y'all get into it. Where were y'all? Just like, what did y'all think about it? Talk about it, G.
Man. First for Keem, man. You know what I'm saying? Boy, Keem in the building. No, it was just a really well put together show. Like Facts. Even like all the acts, the opening acts were dope. The first guy had a couple joints like here and there, but he was more like West Coast Travis Scott vibes. I couldn't really get behind it, but everybody was cool. You know, the artistry was real good. His suit looked like it fit him this time a little bit.
Shoulder pads a little bit more tame this time.
You know what I'm saying? It looked like, okay, he can get away with that. And Keem had his unemployment shirt on.
Keem looked like he just got out of bed and then they just handed him a microphone.
That's how it always seems to look with him.
Zoo, what you think about it with your back-to-back?
I really enjoyed it. You know, obviously I went the first night with you guys. That one was like super dope. You know, just get to experience it all. I like where we were sitting, you could see everything like perfectly.
Yeah.
Basically. Like all the visuals and whatnot. And even like when he would step and the little thing would light up, like he had the whole Michael Jackson vibe. He had the Michael Jackson glove. He had the whole the Billie Jean. I take a step and it makes the noise, whatnot. So no, it was really, really dope. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And obviously the second one, I was a little bit closer, the one in Chicago. And that one was really, really good as well.
Nice. He did it big in Chicago, or was it?
Was it about the same?
No, I think it was about the same, but he did give a little bit more. Like I guess like Chicago rolls off the tongue a little bit more than Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So I feel like he was yelling that a little bit more. And plus, like his family is
he got roots in Chicago,
from Chicago. So like whenever like he always drops Chicago, not always, but I feel like every album he has like a Chicago bar.
Yeah.
And when he would rap that, and the word Chicago would come up, and everybody would just go crazy.
That's good.
And then of course we had hip hop royalty in the house, Chance the Rapper. He was there. And then there was probably a couple other people because it was where the stage is set up, like not the equipment, like where the GA is.
Yeah,
that's where he was, and that thing was like packed. Because like I think at the Milwaukee one there was no one there except probably like Chris Middleton or whatever.
Yeah,
but that thing was packed with like IG hoes and whatnot. I was like, oh, look at him.
Yeah, I gotta get a ticket.
He was just providing for his friends. That's all. Just being a good wing man.
But no, it was good. I really enjoyed it.
Man, for real. That was
an experience. It was definitely
a great experience. I'm very glad I was able to see that before he called it quits. Especially, it's one of them situations where it's like, wow, I got a little bit of money now. I can do this. Like, so it's like the first few times around, like when Cole was on his his Forest Hills Drive tour. I'm like, shoot, I ain't had money to go to that. I ain't got no bread for that. So then when this came around, I was able to go, and all of this stuff is it's great to see people that you admire and you grow up watching like play all your favorite hits. He played like full songs. Like I was expecting like chorus line. Like he was like, nah, I'm getting you both verses. It's been 5 years. I've been missing. Oh, I got y'all. I'm gonna make up for lost time. So
yeah, I definitely couldn't complain about the set list.
No,
we stood up the whole time.
Thorough.
And it was just good seeing like Zoo had pointed out that we were some of the older heads in the crowd.
Yeah.
But it was like these kids, this is their first Kendrick real album. And this was like, you know, we was our age when he dropped Good Kid, Mad City. You know,
yeah.
Like it was a nice full circle. It took you back to high school a little bit. Like, oh,
absolutely.
Snap. Like, you know.
I still remember the first time I heard Backseat Freestyle. And funny enough, I didn't like it the first time I heard it. I didn't know much about Kendrick. So somebody was playing them. I remember I was in biology class and somebody had played it. What the heck is this? And so I'm listening. I'm like, I mean, it's all right. And then I don't know what kind of like flipped the switch. I mean, I just started hearing him more, and then he did the BET Cypher. I'm like, oh, okay, it's a bad boy right here. Like, all right, I gotta tune in, and it just took off from there. So to be able to see all of like you said, him kind of go over all of the years of like our high school years to college and so on and so forth, and really just do it with such energy and passion is just like wow. And then to see the status that Baby Keem is currently at, like he's still relatively new, but he's also become his own artist to where the crowd is just as excited to see him. Like
trust me, we was
it's one of those things where like whenever he decides to go on his own tour, he can easily start selling out stuff like that. Not easily, but you know, he put the work in. But like I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to get those types of numbers to a certain degree himself, because the crowd was just as much in it. So it was like
to be able to get that.
So I think he's definitely on his way. I think it was funny. Tiana Leon, it's like, or Tana Leon, he, like you said, is definitely like a West Coast Travis Scott vibe, but he was like, I'm not coming past this first step. Kendrick gave me strict orders. I am on the main stage.
You saw Kendrick doing them pull-ups. He was gonna flex Tana.
He was like, I'm not going past this first step. I'm just gonna do my little bop right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here.
That's why Keem had to change his shirt. He took a step and Kendrick snatched his ass up. What are you doing?
Let me go tell your mama. Now you know what I told you.
Nah, Keem was crazy. Keem was crazy in Chicago. Like I feel like people were just as loud for Keem in Chicago than Kendrick.
That makes sense.
Like they were going insane. And when I'm glad I wore my Yeezy Gap at the Milwaukee one. Because at the one here in Chicago, half the damn stadium had Yeezy shirt. So when he played Praise God, that's on Donda, everybody went insane. I don't know, just they were insane because we're in Chicago and it's Kanye, and it's like, you know, like I said, everyone was going for Keem regardless, or they went crazy because maybe they thought he was gonna bring out Ye or whatever. But regardless, like Keem killed it in Chicago. He went insane.
That's good.
Like just like he gave the same performance in Milwaukee, but I feel like the crowd was a little bit more hyped for that.
He fed off the energy probably a little bit better just because it is Chicago. And we were talking about this, I think, on the way back. It's just knowing that these artists got to get up every day or every other day to do the exact same set, more or less, in another city, Phoenix, Milwaukee. Gotta be hype for Toledo, like stuff like that. You got to really go out there and be a showman.
Because he does that show, then he's maybe spend the night in Milwaukee, or they take that 2-hour drive to Chicago the next day, and you got to set up, do it all over again.
So like it's crazy seeing the work that's put in, because I've even watched like behind the scenes footage of people on tours and whatnot and how stuff has to get set up, but to go night after night, same clothes, same uniform, whatever, same choreography, all of that, and give 30 different cities, and then you go intercontinental of that status, the same show and the same amount of energy. Like the inside you got to pull that from is crazy. Artistry is such a interesting thing to me, because of like what you got to channel. You got to have like a switch. You got
to be able to turn that on like at a moment's notice. Hey, I'm at this Buffalo Wild Wings and they want me to do money trees. I'm gonna turn it up real quick, hop on the tables, and get to it. I mean, that's just if the fans want it.
Yeah,
you got to do it.
That's definitely great. Zoo, you also your concert escapades didn't stop with 2 Kendrick concerts. You also went to the Bad Bunny concert in the middle of a water park, formerly known as Soldier Field. So, how was that?
It was great. This man is insane. Bad Bunny, it was 3-hour set.
Ooh.
He started at 8, ended at 11.
He didn't do openers, it was just him?
Just him.
That nigga is crazy.
3 hours.
Usually his opener is like a local DJ or something.
Mm-hmm.
But because we thought there was gonna be like a lot of rain, there was like predicted to be thunderstorms. I guess he canceled that, and they just had like the ox in the beginning. So I mean,
his cousin plugged his phone up. It was like, hey, just play something real quick.
Yeah, just put it on Pandora and put that shuffle on. But no, yeah, he came out at 8 and then 11. I think because my sister had the set list. I think it's either 50 or 60 songs he did, and it's like insane because it's like not one like yo. Someone sent us the game. Someone sent us to Chris Brown. This is how you do 60 songs, no misses.
Man,
you know, and it's that energy.
Imagine remembering the order too. For 3 hours, like you got it, like you know what's coming next. Like that's crazy.
It's just albums in order. Okay, what's my first one? This. What's my second one?
Well,
this.
yeah, basically. he got the track list on his phone. Like, hey, what did? Oh, I did do this feature. Okay, cool. That's crazy.
Like people gonna be mad if you accidentally run one back.
Nah, yeah, 3 hours is nuts. And he was like, it wasn't.
People do be.
Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh no, like people when our G baby said people gonna be mad now because well me and my sister rode together. She sat a little bit closer. She sat like the first section or whatever, and but like on the way back she was like, oh, he didn't do this song, he didn't do this song. I was like, he did 60 songs. Like what do you want the man to do? Like bro.
I wanted him to do 62. Okay, I had a specific one I was looking for.
70 in the tuck. We know that.
But yeah, she was like, oh, he didn't do this, he didn't do that, blah blah. And I was like, nah, that's insane. And low key for like the price I paid, I thought it was gonna be. I forgot. I thought Soldier Field was a little bit higher, for whatever reason. But my view was good as hell, and I bought the tickets on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And like some people probably paid like double what I paid, and they were farther as shit.
Yeah.
So I got lucky with that. But
now
I really enjoyed it. He brought out this one reggaetonera. She's called Evie Queen.
Okay.
She's like basically the Nicki Minaj, Lil Kim. She's like an OG. She's like from Daddy Yankee.
Oh wow.
Okay. And he brought her out, and the crowd went insane. They gave her like a 3-minute standing ovation when she finished, because she did he brought her out and she did like 2 or 3 songs. Mm-hmm. And like people were going like insane. People were like, this chick in front of me, it was her birthday. I thought she was gonna fucking pass out. People were he brought a fan on stage, like to dance with him.
We know how Bad Bunny get down with his fans.
Yeah. Oh, fact.
Divorced. Broken.
King and his girl, bro. Andrew Tate, gotta love Bad Bunny. We're gonna get to Andrew Tate.
We're gonna get to Andrew Tate for sure.
Bro, that man Bad Bunny is wild around the world right now. But yeah, he brought a fan on stage. He danced with her, blah blah blah. And he basically he brought her out kind of towards the end. But there was like still like 6 songs left, and he like told her, he's like, you just want to stay on stage. And I was like, bro, if she's married in a relationship, yeah, that's over with. He got her in the tuck. But nah, it was really, really, really good. I enjoyed it.
Now, I haven't been to a Bad Bunny concert yet. Maybe that's something that happens in my future. But in regards to like his showmanship, does he have like dancers on stage, or is it just him kind of just going crazy for 3 hours, just like putting on the show?
He has dancers. He has like, I want to say like 20 dancers or so, 15 or 20. But they're the same dancers from the last concert. And like that, I think I texted you guys on the way there. Bad Bunny fans are worse than
you gotta talk
fans,
about that.
Beyonce fans. I don't care, bro. But because like people know the dancers' names, like at the point where like you're yelling like random names to the dancers wild. And shit. It's like, yo,
congrats on your baby. Sylvia, what?
He's like kept at least from the last concert, because he released like 3 albums during the pandemic, and then he released this one this year. And so the last concert was like his first like huge tour, I guess you could say, because he had already gone on tour before that, but he was known, but he wasn't like selling out Soldier Fields and stuff. But yeah, like everyone knows the dancers' names. He has like 20 of them. The traffic was insane getting there. On the way back, I told my sister this, because we drove back from Milwaukee, right?
Right.
And it was a 2 hour. Well, no, it was like an hour 50-minute drive, hour 40-minute drive, because it was less traffic. On the way back from Soldier Field to here, which if I go to Soldier Field right now is a 15-minute drive. Because I live right next to the E-way. So I could get there in 15 minutes. Because I actually went there, Soldier Field, yesterday in the morning to see if I could go upgrade my tickets to get closer. Because we saw it on TikTok or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, it was a 15-minute drive. But on the way back, it was a 2-hour drive.
Oof.
Damn.
Just getting out of basically the parking lot and getting out of the very first vicinity. It was a 2-hour drive. On the way there, it was about like an hour 30 drive.
Oh shit!
Because it was just backed up. We were still like, I literally put my car in park. I was just like,
I'm not gonna waste my gas.
Nah, for real.
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah,
but
it was
Bad Bunny fans, something else.
Even leaving Milwaukee, it was weird for us because we tried to get on 2 on-ramps. Both of them holes was blocked off. So we sitting there like, this raggedy city can't get us.
I was knocked out. My bad.
Bro, nah.
Yeah,
I tried not. My lady, she likes driving. So she was driving. And I'm sitting there trying to stay awake for her. Bro, I'm hearing the music. Next thing I know, I'm waking up. She like, what you want to eat?
I sure woke up. I was a long blink. I didn't sleep over here.
I definitely ended up knocking out. But yeah, man. Shout out to all the great artists that we saw. Definitely looking forward to.
I think that's what separates them, like the Kendricks and the Bad Bunnies and the J.
Talk about
Coles
it.
from like the regular artists,
Mm-hmm.
where they put on like an actual show. Like Kendrick memorizes choreography. He's like doing the thing where he has the arrows in his back on the big screen.
Yeah, that's
and,
tough.
And it's like he's
it's
like
putting theatrics.
Yeah, it's like a whole theater. Like Bad Bunny, he got on this like this floating platform.
Oh wow!
That brought him up all the way to the 300 section. Like it lifted him up there on each side, so like it traveled from left to right. I have a video of it. I didn't post it yet. I can send it to you guys so you can see it. But it traveled literally. He was like, I was in the 3rd section, like upstairs, like in the 300 section. He was literally like 20 feet from me.
Wow!
Because it brought him all the way up, and then it took him all the way around, so everybody could at least get one good view of him up close.
Oh, so like sidelines.
And like
I respect it. I respect it. Because even Cole had like a whole theme to his concerts. Like there was a way he came out like it was like at now starting guard such and such. Like he had all of that. He had like a highlight reel of his like 3 highlights when he was in Africa. But like he joked about that and he had all of that, and it brought you into the world of this is like a basketball thing. So it's like this actually can lead directly into the Louisiana rapper we were talking about. Like when it comes to artists wanting to put on the show, and there is a difference between just an artist and a rapper, or an artist and a singer, because if you're just gonna stand there, or if you're gonna let the what Jay-Z say, why are you letting the song rap for me? I know my lyrics type of deal. So like
I was literally about to bring that up.
Yeah, that separates a lot of people, because Kendrick ain't had nobody playing the lyrics in the background. If he needs to take a breath, he just took a breath. It was like, no, you're gonna hear me the whole way. 5 years, nigga, we better hear you. Like,
right, you better have some sort of breath control.
So yeah, it's one of those things where artistry is somewhat of a lost art, and I think that might be part of the reason why we're gonna lead into this too. Why some people may think like stuff like R&B and whatnot is dead, because the artistry isn't as prevalent anymore. But even back to the Louisiana rapper, what was his name, Autumn or something like that, he canceled the show because he only sold 85 tickets. Now, I've never heard of Autumn. I don't know nothing about Autumn.
Is what 85 people did.
85 people know about Autumn. 85 people deserve a show. This ain't the same as like a T-Pain situation where like you may have like overshot the rooms or whatever you could sell out. So he was like, you know what? I'm not making no money on this at all. I'm gonna cancel it, and then we're gonna come back together and figure it out. And now he's selling out the spots that he's booking because he figured out the right levels and what not to do. To just sit there and be like, oh, I don't know what niggas doing. I don't know if they're going back to school or what, but I'm not coming out for 85 people. You messing up. That's
like,
how
now that 85 cut in half.
Yeah.
If you even get that again.
Yeah.
So
like it'd be different if you was sick. It's different if you had like a death in the family. That's one thing. But to just say, oh, well, I think I'm better than just these 85 people showing up. You're supposed to give them 85 people an experience of a lifetime. If they know enough about you, my thing is if somebody knows enough about me to spend money on something I'm putting out, I have to give 110%. It was this comedian, David Arnold. he said he's like he was circulating doing tours and whatnot. He said, "Oh, I just did a room for 3 people. I gave those 3 people the best show of their life because this is how much, one, he loves the art of comedy, and 2, you don't want to alienate people. If somebody coming out of their time to either leave work early or cook early or whatever to come and support you, and you upset because the numbers ain't where you think they need to be, so you just up and cancel, that's a bad look."
I just, like I said, with the Chance the Rapper, not Chance the Rapper, Kid Cudi at the show.
Mm-hmm.
You may have been disrespected by these 2-3 people, maybe 20 people, but there's a bunch of other people that have worked their ass off to buy a ticket to see Kid Cudi. This might be their only shot to see Kid Cudi, and you walk off. Like, you owe us a show.
Mm-hmm.
Whether, I mean, it wasn't like you, it's disrespectful. You got something thrown at you. That's just not concert performance. But at the end of the day, it wasn't like it was a sea of bottles of tomatoes getting thrown at you. Yeah. One dude caught you. Okay, keep it going, go to the back of the stage. But it's 900 other people in here that probably the only chance they'll ever get to see Kid Cudi. And you don't even give them that. You don't even write a fan note to everybody that bought a ticket. Like, you got to do something. Like, you just bailed on the show. It's like, no, I'm never going to go see Kid Cudi now. Mm-hmm. And whether it's he doesn't care about my ticket sale or my album sale, it's like I'm probably not the only person that feels like this. Mm-hmm. And so it's like you owe the people a show, especially if they got you here. You see what I'm saying? It ain't like Kid Cudi just an upstart and he was like, oh, I'm just filling in. Like, you're an established artist. Like, there's gonna be people that hate you. There's gonna be people that just want to hate you just because it's cool, but it's a lot of people that don't. Mm-hmm. And for you to just say fuck them because of this dude cracked you with a water bottle, it's like, okay, I understand you're disrespected, but show must go on. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's the thing with this dude, Autumn, is like, bro, 85 people. We don't even have 85 podcasts listened. Like, how would we stop if, well, this episode didn't get 30, this is the last episode? You can't do that. Like, that's the part of the 85. You show out for them 85. Now they probably bring a friend apiece. Now the next show probably 110, 120. Then that show is 200. Then it's 3, 4, 5. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a process, but you can't go out there and expect to sell 1,200 seats and don't nobody know who you are. Like, you in Louisiana, that don't reach up here. It ain't huge.
If it ain't Wayne.
If it ain't Wayne, if it ain't Young Boy, anybody, somebody, whoever down there, it ain't that, it's not reaching us. So it could be the hottest Colorado rapper right now, but it ain't reaching us. But I'm pretty sure he's not canceling his 16 ticket sold show. That 16 tickets he ain't sell last week. So you as an artist, you have to, the conviction is like, this is your dream. So how strong is that dream? Mm-hmm. 85 is not enough for you? Okay. Now next time 65 is not going to be enough for you. So you might never perform again.
Yeah.
If 85 wasn't enough. Yeah. So you paint yourself in that box.
Go ahead, Zoo.
No, yeah. I mean, like, I agree with G Baby. The whole, if those 85 people pay, they're your fans. And like he said, if I just cancel, like, just randomly, because no more people didn't show up. Now those 85 fans are like, no, I'm not gonna waste my money, or like you said, request off, or because some people could request off with pay, so it's like, all right, whatever, I still got paid. Some people just have to request off with no pay, and I was like, damn, I lost a whole day of work.
Lost a paycheck. I dealt with traffic. I stayed in the line potentially, or it's just one of those. And then it's like a lot of times they don't refund that, because especially if you get it through like Ticketmaster or something, you may be able to get it insured or have it, whatever his means was of selling people's tickets. If he's not giving them back the money, then you really just screwed everybody over.
Right. You just got a quick payday.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even worth anything because now you lost all these fans.
Yeah. Like we were saying, like with somebody like a T-Pain who is established or whatnot, and he tried to do a tour a couple years ago, the numbers wasn't looking how he felt they should look, maybe because he booked rooms that were too big or whatever. He was like, okay, it doesn't make sense. He did it early though. Like, hey, all right, this ain't gonna work. We'll just, go back to the drawing board type of situation. For somebody that maybe the masses hasn't heard of, I was very surprised it even went viral. But for somebody that the masses haven't even heard of, to just go out of your way and be like 85 not enough, you gotta take that on the chin. It's growing pains coming with that. He's got to be still relatively new. So
like we've seen Oh, not to cut you off, but like we've seen the videos of like Travis Scott performing in front of like 20 people,
People
Jack
that was walking, yeah, and
Harlow
they were walking by, like they
performing.
weren't even like standing to listen. They was like, oh, okay, what he got going on, and still moving.
Right.
So you got to start from somewhere. And like you said, with Jack Harlow, I've seen that he was doing it in a cafeteria with like 12 people who knew who he was. He was doing little dive-in bars and stuff like that. So you do that, and then you end up at Coachella or whatever festivals he's been at. It's all a part of the grind. Like it takes time. I don't know if Autumn has a team behind him or whatever his management situation is, but like somebody needs to be like, hey, nah, 85 people paid. 85 folks gonna get a show, because then word of mouth spreads around. Oh, y'all missed it. Y'all should have came out. He came out in the crowd. He did this. He did that. He performed all of that. You got to do what you have to do. You can't take a shortcut. I seen a tweet yesterday. A guy was saying, man, when you starting out, your tickets need to be $15 to $20. If you got to take the church van to get where you need to go, you don't need no big double-decker bus. Do it within your means. Do what you need to do. Sell the merch that you need to sell to provide for your fans, to provide for your people, and let them know that you respect their time, their money, their effort, and that you're there for them. And all of that does is just continue to build, at the very least, you build a stable fan base. Even if you don't gain new people off of that, you got a baseline that you know, all right, if I go out to this city, I can at least get this many people to come out.
Right.
It's not rocket science.
It's not. I mean, because you'll see some, hey, I saw your show the other day. You want a headline? You want to be the first headline for such and such and such? Mm-hmm. And he might not be the world's biggest artist. Mm-hmm. But one of his fans might be, oh, this dude's straight. He might go check you out now or share your video. It's networking. It's a big, small world.
Absolutely.
It only takes one post for somebody to go viral.
Absolutely.
Just say you spit the hardest freestyle over a cream bead and somebody discovers it. Who says they won't? You just got to keep putting yourself out there. But canceling a show for 85 people, that looks like, oh, he's not serious about it. He was looking for a quick payday, didn't get what he wanted, so he bailed.
Or he thinks he's bigger than what he really is.
Right.
Like you said, if it's not Wayne, Youngboy, or somebody else, Louisiana rappers ain't making their way up here. So it's like, if this is a show that he canceled within his own state, now you looking bad to your own people.
Yeah. Just like, man, you don't even perform in front of the home crowd.
Like, come on now.
Yeah, it's a shitty situation trying to be an artist. I can assume.
Yeah.
Even with this podcast, it's like, how, we have our 5 or 6, 7 people that were like, damn, man, how come y'all missed this week?
Yeah.
But we got to be on it for them 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
We have to, you know what I'm saying?
It's all a part of that. It's all a part of the grind. We can't sit, like you said, if we not averaging 35, we can't just get, like, if this is something that we say that we want to do, that we enjoy doing, we've all made sacrifices in whatever shape or form. Zoo got to record in his car because family too loud. We doing the graveyard shift podcast, or we doing the way early in the morning podcast, trying to balance it out and everything. It's like sacrifice
people that want to hear it,
because people want to hear what you got to say. So to go, like you said, to go out of your way to just be like, like you said, it looks bad. And we was talking about, speaking of artistry, once again, it has been trending on Twitter that R&B, and a bunch of people have had their opinions on that. Tory Lanez went live with P. Diddy talking about it, and I didn't watch the whole thing, but one clip I did see, he said he was talking about how basically it's like too many people singing about the same thing. Now, mind you, it's the same stuff he's singing about, but he was like, as somebody who does make music about the toxic relationships and all that, he was like, nigga, I want to hear about love too, and I want to hear about this, that, and the third. Now, there are people who are saying R&B isn't dead. You guys just refuse to broaden out your musical horizons and look at this indie artist from Montana who's been making music for 2 years and music videos and all of that, because you want to listen to the same 5 artists do the same stuff, and then you have the nerve to complain that R&B is dead. Some people was blaming P. Diddy for the fact that R&B is dead. So the fact that you got the nerve to go on live talking about it, is it dead, is something else. What do y'all think about it? We've talked about it before, but because new points keep getting brought up and it keeps recirculating, I'm just curious to see, like, if you guys have had any new thoughts about the state of R&B and what even defines dead from a listener's perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I brought up before we started, Chris Brown went on his little Instagram rant, as he usually does.
Yes, he does.
And his point was what you just said right now, that you guys like, well, not you guys, but like people don't broaden their horizon from the people the labels push or that the radios play or whatever. And he's like if you listen to smaller artists, there's a lot of them making love songs that people claim they want. And even Chris Brown was like, well, I feel like he mainly went on this rant for himself, even though he brought that point up. He's like, I just dropped a 50 song album and it's like 90% of them are love songs, blah blah blah. And like you guys chose to ignore that. So I feel like that's the main reason he went on that rant. But I mean, that still does bring a point, because like a month ago or whenever Giveon, Fiya, and Division dropped their albums, everyone was like, oh, it's toxic, blah 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 blah. And then it's like Chris Brown dropped the 50 song album of like half of them, let's say, are love songs, and everyone ignored it. Or so and so dropped love albums and people ignored it. And and I feel like it's mainly directed to the men, like the men artists, because it's like, I guess, well, women want to hear a man talk about love. That's what they want to hear. But it's like, are we gonna keep the same? Because I listen to Janae, I love Janae, but a lot of her songs are like, they're like heartbreak. They're not really love songs. They're like, what's that song called, Whole, with the Future, Happiness Over Everything. You listen to Summer Walker, where she talks about that everybody ain't shit, and Kalani does the same thing. Like, they're love songs, but they're all like shitting on men. But you don't see men in droves being like, oh, Kalani, Janae. It's like, no, we like their music too. And obviously Giveon, Fiya, and Division, it's working out for them. Everyone's listening to the Toxic. So you guys are complaining, but you're still buying it. You're still listening to it.
And women are the prime consumers of music.
Yeah.
Still,
like that's literally like when you go on a date, you literally curate your playlist
for her
to, oh, what is she going to want to listen to make her think I have good music taste or that I'm interesting, blah, blah, blah. And what is so-and-so like? Oh, they love Brent Faiyaz, even though it's talking about cheating on women for whatever reason. They enjoy it. So
there's
it's
no
like,
growth.
you can't really help it.
No, I don't mean to cut you off. But it's no growth, because it's like you said with the Jen Aiko and Kaylani's and all of them. It's like, what's different about your first album and this? It's like, you're still hurt, you're still crying, still got cheated on. There's no growth. Like, you're just stuck in this, oh, I'm hurt over this guy. Oh, I'm hurt over this guy. I'm tired of you being the sad, whispery chick. Like, you're always getting hurt. Like, you don't have no confidence. You don't have.
It's like, Janae, you've been in a relationship with like Big Sean for like 8 years now. You guys have a kid.
It's
on the way, it's like, you still heartbroken, bro.
Like, what are you doing?
And you know what? I don't, and like you were saying, I don't even think that they're even, because Kalani, apparently, I haven't really absorbed her music a lot recently, but they have said that some of her most recent stuff has been really good. But even if you are in a better place, it all goes back to what the fans want to hear. Like we said, we've said this a million times on here. Chance the Rapper is physically, spiritually, mentally in a much better place than he was when he was in high school or just coming out, but nobody cares about that. Nobody. Now, some of it is his fault. Some of the rhymes he made weren't the best, but he's in a different mind state. He's happier. He's healthier. This, that, and third. We don't care about none of that. We want to hear about X, Y, and Z. He ain't been in that mind state, Lord willing, for the last, 8 years? But this is what people want to hear. So
it's like Andre 3000 said. Like, when he was like, when you stop rapping, it's like hip hop. It's like, you're supposed to be hip with it. You can't be 40 years old talking about, oh, colonoscopies and stuff. And John. It doesn't sound right. Yeah. So it's like, you're not hip anymore. So stop trying. Like, stay in this lane. Like, if you Chance the Rapper would have disappeared for 8 years, got his life together, and came back, fine. But it's like the Eminem syndrome. We fell in love with this M. You got your life changed, great.
We don't care about that.
You have to respect how we fell in love with you. Now you have a different fan base going forward, recovery on that. Oh, this is where we met Eminem. You're never going to be able to please everybody. But the second you do, you sound like, oh, you're angry, yelling at the mic. It's like, why is Eminem still dissing people? It's like, why are you still looking for an Eminem diss people? You're almost 50.
Isn't he about to be a grandfather? Isn't Haley pregnant?
Is she?
I don't think so.
I seen it may have been a clickbait. I didn't click on it. It was a YouTube thing talking about like she thought she was having a boy or something like that. I don't know how true that is. I don't want to put that out there, but he can't be too far from it.
Go back at these whole verse.
So I'm
to
just
get a
saying,
whole 16 bars.
I really hope
it's
not.
like the game too. It's like, bro, you're still name dropping people. Like I thought Drake was the co-host on this damn album. As much times as he was being, oh, Drake this, Drake this, Drake this. It's like, you're old, bro. You're old and corny. It's what it is. Like, you have to let that go. If Game went back to just talking about how he was talking on the documentary, this, that, and that, it'd be welcome. Mm-hmm. But it's like, you're trying to keep up with Little Baby. You're trying to do this. Like, that's not your sound. That's never been your sound. It's like, you're the old nigga trying to catch up. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you see where, you don't see Nas over here making twerk songs. You don't see Ghostface making twerk songs. Like, we stayed in our lane. This is us. They could never branch out like that. But the Game is like, why are you making love songs? It's like, he can't make a love song? That's not you, bro. He be trying to woo the women, but it's always like ridiculously hardcore. Yeah. Like
it is.
Like, yeah.
No, but I'm not gonna lie. That love song he has with Jeremiah, that shit goes crazy.
That was like I said, he can do it, but it's just like stop trying to keep up, stop trying to be hip. Like, you've lost that. Yeah. It's like you were done in 2014 with being relevant as far as music, and that's fine. It's not saying Game sucks or this, that, and the other, but it's just like your time's over. It's time for a new generation. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the thing with R&B is like you could throw Kehlani on the shuffle, and you won't know what song that album comes from. It could be this one. It could be our first one. They all sound the same. Yeah. It's like, you're still hurt. We can't tell on IG you're the happiest person out here. Yeah. But you're still this hurt and heartbroken. Like, it's got to change up. And with the men, not just trying to stick on women, it's like, bro, you're 40. Like, why are you still trying to be toxic with?
They say that about Lucky Day. He's like 37, and it's like the stuff he raps about is if somebody's like just getting out of college or something.
Who are you sleeping with? You're sleeping with girls just coming out of college, and you're 40. You got 20 years on these girls. It's like, why are you getting so heartbroken over her? Mm-hmm. Like, you should be trying to get the 35-year-olds or the 28 to 32 crowd. That should be your crowd. You shouldn't be looking at 18 to 25. And that's the problem with Chris Brown, is he never grew up out of that. It was like, you made music for teenagers, and you keep making music for teenage people who are, well, let's sneak away and have sex in a car, or let's sneak away and have sex in my parents' basement.
You ain't got a house?
It's like, bro, you are 40.
He did it. He did that song with Young Thug. What is it, Crazy?
Yeah.
Where he's like sneaking to your crib in the middle of the night. He's like, why are we sneaking?
Like, bro, you're
snuck into a crib in like 10 years.
Yeah. You know what? A lot of it also has to do with the fact, because like, think about somebody like an Usher, like, who's been recently getting his much deserved flowers all because of his Tiny Desk. But a lot of the music he was making in his 20s was music that was more or less timeless, because it didn't encompass something around the age. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that whoever was like, whether he was writing or whoever was writing for him, they had him do music that, like you said, was broad, that wasn't specific to him being 18. And there was also a gap in between albums and stuff. So it's like, hey, this is by far more maturity than the last stuff I've done. Yeah. So I've had a chance to grow. And now when I'm making music, I'm in a different mind state. So when he raps, when he sings, when he sings Nice and, that's age appropriate at all points in time. It's still, and he even did an interview asking like about like, keeping up or staying relevant. And it was a lot like what you said, G. It was kind of like, well, who am I right now? Like, that's the biggest thing. It's not about keeping up with like the young niggas are trying to, like, he tried to do that. He did a song with Young Thug, and it didn't really go over the best, because it's like, that's not where you at. Like, just be, it's okay. It's okay to experiment, but it's like, when those songs don't hit, it's because you more or less kind of leaving your roots. And if you're allowing yourself to grow and mature as a man, as a woman, and therefore as an artist, then it's allowing people to kind of come with you, which is why I think rap usually goes over well than other forms of media, because they can rap about where they're at that time, or their hopes for the future, or whatever. And sad to say, police brutality is always going on. So Ice Cube can still pop up and say F the police, and it's still F the police because of what's going on. So
it's because you don't want to put yourself in that box. And that's the thing with like this toxic music is like once you've always been cheated on, or once you're this super hard drill gang banging dude, it's like you alienate everybody else. Because I don't want to be sad thinking about my ex all the time, and I don't want to go out here and kill the whole block either. That's why you have to be open. Like one of the greatest R&B songs of all time is 21 Questions. It's timeless.
True.
You can sing that to at any given point in time because it's general. It's questions you would ask a woman that you're trying to court. It's not too vulgar. It's, are you going to be my ride or die, essentially? You look at like back even further, like the Isley Brothers, Between the Sheets. That's everybody's goal. Whether you're 15, 16, 18, 45, 60, you trying to get between the sheets. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But once you start, My Heart Got Broke by Girl in 4C, now you done alienated everybody that lives in 4C. Oh, she lives in 4C, she's a hoe. If she's this, that, you see what I'm saying? You putting yourself and your fans in this box because you'll never be happy. And we don't want to see you happy.
They were saying about Rod Wave. They're like, you're very talented, but it's like, how are you still so sad every single time? There's been a viral tweet that's going around. People have been recycling it. Have you ever felt useless or hard? Something like that. They're like, no, nigga, I don't relate. Like, I'm living good right now.
Right.
But at the same time, he's not for whatever reason, because he is talented, he has worked, but he's found that niche to where he can do a stadium and they singing out his song. And they were saying like Meg Thee Stallion on paper is a much bigger artist than Rod Wave, but for whatever reason, his reach is further along. Is it just because everybody like feeling sad? It's just one of those things where I guess if you find that niche and it continuously works, what reason would it be to change up? What reason does Rod Wave have to make a happy song or do a happy chorus if everybody that listens to his stuff is heartbroken over a dead homie or a loved one that was lost? You feel me? It's like, you may be tired of hearing it. Yeah.
So you get no longevity.
Yeah. You think so?
It's because like
there's always gonna be niggas that sad. It's always
gonna be niggas that sad, but it's just like, okay, why should I listen to the new album when I could just go back to the old one when it was really hitting? Like he didn't change up the subject matter. Niggas is still sad. So it's like I don't have to listen to the new one. Especially if the new one ain't hitting like the old one, then I'm never checking for nothing else. It's like, oh, he didn't peaked, he didn't topped out, bam, it's gone. Like I'm gonna just stick with the old stuff. And that's how you lose people, because you can't grow. Like you're supposed to experiment that second and third album. And like once you get to 4 and 5 and you be like, all right, this is still heartbroken, this, that, and the other, I'm gang banging at the full, then this is what it is. Then you need to start living by those means that, well, I'm gonna have to start, living this life a little bit. And that's not the life you want to stay to if you want to get out of it, but you got to change the music. You have to upgrade as an artist or else you fall by the wayside.
Zoo, I got a question. For a lot of either reggaeton or Latino artists, what does growth look like for them? Or do they usually stay pretty much the same because everybody loves to party, everybody loves dancing and whatnot, so they can kind of just stay in that lane their entire career and not really have to, even if they go through life experiences, they don't have to make music about it because the fans are going to continuously listen to the same type of stuff for them? Is there like a growth for them, or how does that look?
There is a little growth, but a lot of times the beat obviously helps because it is dance music. But like if you take Bad Bunny for example, 80 to 85% of his songs are heartbreak songs. They're like real. Like, if you listen to the lyrics, they're depressing. Like at the concert, I think I was just emotional this weekend. I cried a little bit at the Kendrick concert, and then at the Bad Bunny concert, there was this one song where I was damn near bawling. Like I was like singing and dancing, and I was crying at the same time. It was quite the spectacle. But like 2 songs passed, and I still had I was wiping my eyes, and they were still wet. Like that's how much But he has really really sad songs over fire beats, which helps him out. Daddy Yankee, he's been out since he's I guess you could do the longevity, because he's been since 2003, I think that album came out with Gasolina in it. And basically, so he has changed his sound slightly to sound newer, obviously to fit in more with the music that's coming out now, because the sound did change. If you play a song from 2003 to now, you could tell the difference. But it's mainly the difference in the production. It's not so much what they're rapping about, because like this Daddy Yankee album, it's his going away album basically. If he is gonna retire, and it's not like he's not like rapping like oh thank you for everything blah blah blah. No, it's still like I wanna hang out with this chick. I wanna sleep with this girl, and he's in his 40s and whatnot, and still like I want to party and I want to drink and whatnot. So it's it hasn't much changed. There's there's a couple that do grow, but like I don't know, in this genre that doesn't help as much when you're like super, like we've said before with even like rap music, that people don't care as much. People claim they want introspective music, but they don't really. Well, they don't buy it or they don't consume it as much because they are like dudes like Calle 13 Residente and like Don Omar, who did grow. At first, their music was like party music, and now it's like they're trying to teach a message, but it's like damn, I can't dance to this. And when I want to listen to this, I want to dance and I want to feel it. Like even if I'm sad and it's sad music, I'm still dancing through it. Like that's what gets you through it, at least in this genre. Okay. And a lot of Spanish music too. It's just mainly a lot of Latinos are very sad people. It's a lot of, because like even the songs my mom listens to, it's like they're all depressing songs. I grew up on all these songs when you're cleaning and whatnot, and it's like dance music, but if you listen to the lyrics, depressing. I actually saw a TikTok, I want to say like 2 or 3 days ago, and it was like a song about, because it's a song. This is really really popular. If you guys have been to any Latino party, you might have heard it, but it's a song about slavery, and like I think in Colombia or wherever. I forgot where the original.
He's like giving a history lesson about it.
Yeah, it's like about slave. It's like it's a story about like a slave couple, and the guy is trying to defend and stand up for his wife, but his wife is like getting beat by the slave master. And then I think like towards the end of the song, the guy actually ends up getting killed by the slave master. Just trying to defend her or whatever. But but yes, the TikTok is song about like slavery and like people getting beat, and then it says Latinos, and then it's like the people dancing and like I'm gonna find it because I think I saved it because I think I sent it to my mom or something.
That's crazy.
And I'll send it to you guys, because like if you listen to the song, like the beat it's a salsa song, and like people are dancing and whatnot. It's like a really really good song. And if you don't listen, it's like Hey Ya by Outkast.
Yes.
It's like y'all don't want to listen to the music, y'all just want to dance. And
he
like,
told y'all. He was like, "Hey, I tried to tell y'all."
Yeah, the song I've ever wrote.
and some people just discovered that like these last couple of years because of TikTok, where it's like when you're dancing along to the song, and then it's like when you actually pay attention to the lyrics.
Absolutely.
And it's like, oh, this song's about divorce. And people are just like, yeah, shake it.
Yeah.
So yeah, crazy. It's one of those.
Social media is so funny when like it helps you kind of discover things. But speaking of social media, there's a young man who can no longer use 2 avenues of social media. Mr. Andrew Tate has been banned from he has been banned from IG and Facebook, I believe, due to some of the narratives he has pushed around that are very anti-women, misogynistic, get in the kitchen and scrub them floors. What do y'all think about the whole thing? Because like I said, I got hip to him like sporadically, and by the time I realized kind of who he was like full blown like Final Form.
I don't think I really maybe sat through a video or even on TikTok, because I'm like, it's anytime somebody's just women, like why are you so mad at women?
Yeah.
It's like why? Like why do you
he gives his message? Because I've seen people make the same points as him, but they say it in a nicer way, or they're like calm. Like with his videos, he always like looks like he's going through roid rage. Like he's about to explode. He's
veins popping out his head and stuff.
And it's like women aren't, because like there are videos where he's telling the women that. There's like videos where he's like with dudes, and like the other dudes are just like laughing or like super chill, and this dude's like yelling at them, and it's like
sweating,
dog.
And relax. Yeah, it's like, bro, now you scaring the hoes for real. Calm down.
You just try. I mean, he's trying to get a point across, but it's like, what is the point? Like, one man is not going to change the entire thought process of women.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so you can yell and do this, that, and that, but a woman's going to do what a woman's going to do regardless. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, why do you feel so strongly about that? And then when you use them words like all women or all this, it's like, now you breeding this group of men. The bitches ain't shit men again. The same stuff that Snoop and them went through. Instead of saying all women, it was like, we're not talking to all women. All women ain't bitches and hoes, but there are some bitches and hoes. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And it's just like, you're not making that distinction anymore. You're just, all women ain't shit. You're doing what women do. The same thing that men ain't this, men ain't that. You're doing that to them. And you're just using your cult following to go out here and question random women and just get them caught up. It's like, why are you even doing this to begin with?
And we've talked about it. It's just been it's been so kind of like not weird, because it's like, it's stuff that you may have seen growing up or heard growing up, but it's like to see somebody literally just make a platform off of it. And we talked about it with all the baby Kevin Samuels. And I don't even want to keep saying Kevin Samuels, because even like we said, Kevin Samuels, his delivery was some stuff to be desired, but a couple times he definitely had some good points. It was just a matter of how he came across it. And delivery is everything. There's a whole TikTok counselor or whatever that lost her job because of how she displayed one message, and people was like, who would want to be one of your patients or one of your this, that, and the third, because this is how you talk to people. And she lost her whole job off of that. So I don't understand why people get so surprised when stuff gets taken away from them, or in his case, when he gets banned from doing a certain social media. Like, if you going out of your way to say, like, he got banned off of Twitter because he said the story of him getting banned off of Twitter was he was on a flight. It was a female pilot, and before he took off, he tweeted, "I don't even trust a woman to park my car," or something like that. Why would I trust her to fly a plane? It's like, what do you gain from saying that? There's no reason to even do that. Like what? Like,
that's the difference. Because like Kevin Samuels would have been, instead of just going out there and attacking, and I'm not shooting him no bill, rest in peace.
Yeah.
But instead of just attacking a woman saying you can't fly a plane, he was gonna give you facts. It's like, hey, you failed this pilot's test 7 times. You've did this. You've did that. Then do you think you're fit to fly this plane? And you answer that question. If you say, yeah, cool. But then you get those women that are like, oh, well, maybe when you put it like that, he was getting you to think. He wasn't just telling you, oh, you ain't shit. You ain't this. You were toxic, this, that, and the other. He was going to tell you, oh, well, you don't cook. You don't clean. This, that, and the other. Explain to me how you're an 8. Now, you conscious woman has to be like, well, okay, maybe since I don't do this, that, and the other, I got to rephrase it. Instead of Andrew Tate just being like, you're ugly, you're a 4, don't ever get past, don't ever think you're too big than that. Kevin Samuels be like, okay, you think you're an 8, justify it. Mm-hmm. And if you can't justify it, then I'm well within my right to not call you an 8 or see you as an 8. Mm-hmm. It's all about letting them come up. You can't tell anybody how they feel or what they, nothing. But when you just barking and attacking somebody, it's like, yeah, you don't know me. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know this. It's like, this is my confidence. And you just shot it without giving me any reason or nothing. It's like, you're just attacking me for no reason.
And it don't help that a lot of times these narratives come from a place of privilege amongst whoever, like whatever their status is, even if it is Black men or minority men, whatever. A lot of times they wait until they get to that certain status to all of a sudden turn around and come out with this 1950s narrative of everything. So it's like, okay, how was you talking before you got there? Or did you get to that point talking how you talking? Because at the very least, if it's consistency, I don't like it, but I gotta respect it. If that's what got you to your bag, is consistently talking like this is a black and white television program, fine. But to go out of your way to just like every single narrative that comes out about you or from you, every single clip that goes viral is this, that, and the third. At the very least, like you said, not shooting him any bail, but with Kevin Samuels, when he had reasonable points come out, those also made the waves and those also circulated and went around.
Right.
I have yet to hear one logical, like Andrew Tate point of view that didn't come off as men are superior to women. It's like, bro, like, what do you get doing this?
And it's like they find the ones. Like, you don't see him just talking to the lawyers, the doctors.
You talk to the ones with no real common sense for themselves.
You talking to the concert or the bar chicks.
Mm-hmm.
That's just you talking to them, and oh yeah, she's not. Yeah, she's not. But pull that with somebody else.
With a doctorate or
snatch your
something.
car.
Like, come on now.
It's like you pulling it with the right way. You're not pulling that with Michelle Obama. You're not talking that shit to Michelle Obama. And that's just real. If you can't talk that to that, then you shouldn't be talking to about nobody else. Like, how strong is your conviction?
No, that's fact. If you can't do it with and it's like
tell your mama, if you can't tell your mom this as a woman, then you shouldn't be telling nobody else.
Yeah. And I mean, he finds his niche with, I feel like it's mainly because I do see it a lot, like on mainly on Instagram and TikTok, like his videos go viral. But usually the people who are sharing it are teenagers.
Yeah.
Which is why a lot of people were trying to get him banned. Not so much for like the other grown men, but they were like teenagers starting to look up to this. Teenagers who probably asked the girl out to the school dance and got rejected, or maybe just went through a heartbreak. So now it's like, I'm trying to look for reasoning as to why this happened. Now here's this guy, Andrew Tate, saying, oh, the reason it happened was because women are hoes, or women are thoughts, and women are just like trying to gain advantage, or whatnot and so forth. So now it's like, oh, it's not me. It's the women's fault.
Never mind the fact I didn't put deodorant on that day. No, it's her fault.
I didn't put deodorant on, or I couldn't hold a conversation, or maybe we just didn't have the same interests, blah, blah, blah. But she didn't like me, so it's a her thing. And they found the guy that could justifies it.
Mm-hmm.
It's preaching homosexuality because you're raising people to hate women or to look at women different, because it's like, oh, why do I need a woman when I have just as much fun with the boys and we can do this, that, la, la, la. It's the Roman Empire all over again. You're going to be, women ain't this, women ain't that, and then it's women aren't important, but they are. So it's like you have these narratives, you have these people teaching more than an actual woman. If there was an actual woman that got up there and was like, oh, no, yeah, us as women need to do this, us as women need to do that, but they won't, because women are so with each other. They're like, oh, she just wants to be this. She's just a submissive, and blah, blah, blah. It's the fair but equal argument. That's all it is.
Yeah. It's the whole thing is like, and
do you?
It's really just do you, honestly, at that point. But like Zeus said, it does become a point, because like we've talked about many a times, especially growing up, how much time do you spend really with your family, especially once you get to school full time? You'd be lucky if you see them 5 hours out the day. So if your whole molding and your whole kind of model of who you are as a person comes from this guy, and I've seen plenty of tweets of women saying like, I didn't know who Andrew Tate was, but my son follows him on Instagram. So now I had to nip this in the bud and let him know this isn't how you supposed to talk to a woman or treat a woman, because like G Baby said, this isn't how you would talk to your mama. This is how you would talk to your grandmama. Why would you try to talk to somebody who you're trying to court this way? Like, that's somebody else's daughter, somebody else's potential future mom, and all of that. Right. So it's one of those things where it's very dangerous, because there is, like you said, it is going to raise up a culture of men who just think for the fact that they are a man, they superior. It's back to them kingdom days. Like, yeah, who cares if she was first born? He's the first son, so he has to lead the kingdom. He has to do that. And it's like, bro, like, you can't healthily operate in this world, in my opinion, with that type of mind state. Like,
think for yourself.
Everybody's gonna have a predisposed disposition for something. It happens. It's just it's human nature. But to go out of your way to just think, I'm X, Y, and Z because I was born a man, or I'm X, Y, and Z because I was born a woman, and the other side, them niggas tweaking. They are inferior. Both sides is terrible. So it's one of those, it's equally terrible. But obviously, because let's be real, men have the power. Ours is definitely the most dangerous narrative to spread around, because then that's how people start getting hurt. That's how people start getting taken advantage of. So it's definitely, I understand why he was banned off of these social media apps. You can say freedom of speech, this, that, and the third, but when niggas start moving based off of their words, the same thing with Trump.
It's militarized.
You get a whole insurrection based off of the words he put out, he has to be held accountable. Even if I didn't put the gun in their hands. I didn't get them the hammers to go
gave him the
bash
bullet.
these. Like, you feel me? Like,
That's what happened with Charles Manson.
Yeah.
Like they threw him
He
in
didn't kill
jail,
nobody.
but his whole thing the whole time was like, I don't know why I'm in jail. I didn't kill him. He's like, I might have suggested it, or I might have put it in, like maybe on a random day. I said, you know what would happen? Like, wouldn't it be great if so and so died, and they ended up dying? But he's like, I didn't do it. I didn't tell him to do it. They just heard me say it on my own, and then they were like, oh, maybe he would like it if I did this. It's their fault. And it's like, no, because you all had power over them. You were their cult leader, and they thought this was going to satisfy you. Even if they heard it in passing, they're like, you know, if I could get the person I idolize to love me or respect me, I'm gonna go do it. Mm-hmm. And that time it so happened to be a murder or whatever. And it's like, no, you're responsible because you told them to.
Yeah. Folks got to be held accountable. Folks have to.
It's a conspiracy. You put that out there.
Yeah. And speaking of accountability, we got one more thing before G-Baby got to head to work and serve and protect. Deshaun Watson, they have decided to suspend him 11 games instead of the original 6, and he's being fined $5 million. Now, from a business perspective, the NFL failed, in my opinion. This is a situation where you have to set a precedent. We talked about it a million times, how many axe murderers did the Cowboys have for all of those years, and people was just like, oh, well, he just did this, that, and third, so he good. You have a man who had to settle 85 million sexual assault cases, and the Browns came out and was like, oh, well, he was remorseful for making those women feel uncomfortable. He coming out saying, nigga, I didn't do nothing. I am innocent. So for you to go out of your way to just, oh, well, we'll just extend it to 11 because there's no way they can make the playoffs if he's it'll deal with it. That doesn't deal with it. And
it's still an issue.
It's still an issue. And now you've made the narrative furthermore, we don't care about women's safety. You got all of these women employees, women trainers, you got women coaches now, you got women media members, all of this. You've just told the NFL, you just told all of your female fans, oh well.
What's gonna stop somebody from groping one on live TV during the touchdown dance?
Yeah, well, yeah.
What's gonna stop him? Oh, he's suspended for 2 games and $200,000. Okay, I'm gonna do it next week too.
Yeah.
I don't want to play. You're not gonna make the playoffs. Might as well have my fun. You know what I'm saying? That's the narrative.
This one, I feel like the NFL, although they should have been set the precedence like before, like you said with the Cowboys and like
absolutely
all these other players. But in this one, I feel like they did the most they could do, just because the original was 6 games, and that wasn't decided by the NFL. That was decided by like a separate judge, like an actual government judge.
Okay.
Who, because the NFL has set such a bad precedent, that's the most they could give him, like by a judge, because she had to keep it fair. She wasn't going to be like, oh, well, this sexual assault person, Ben Roethlisberger, only got 4 games, or I don't know how much he got, but let's say he only got 4 games, and it's like, well, if Ben Roethlisberger got 4 games, then I can't give Deshaun Watson the whole season because it's not fair. I'm the judge. I have to keep it fair no matter what my thoughts are. I have to get everything presented to me, and I have to put it into account. Even if I think he should be suspended for life or whatever, I have to abide by precedent. So the NFL overruled that and was like, yeah, we don't care what this judge says. And it's like, all right, we'll give you 11 games and I forgot the fine, what, $5 million fine, or something like that. And it's like, that's the most we could do now, because now if I try to go for the whole season, now Deshaun Watson's going to try to take it to the Supreme Court, which had already been said supposedly by his camp, because I think the NFL was trying to make it the whole season. And Deshaun was like, yeah, I'm going to take that to the Supreme Court. And now the Supreme Court rules 6 games. Now it's like, all right, 6 games. So I think this was like I guess happy, which sucks, because like if he did, because 28 women or however many women don't just all band together in a group chat and say, hey, let's come up real quick. So at least a handful of them had to be telling the truth.
And one is one too many.
Yeah, one is one too many. So it's like, so it sucks that they had to like compromise with the person who did such things. But in this case, I think that was the most the NFL could do without possibly firing on them.
Yeah.
that just says a lot for that league too. I mean,
oh yeah,
you got to have a better precedent. It's damn near the WWE at this point.
Yeah, like it's a lot of stuff that you let slide, and then like we talked about, you got Calvin Ridley betting on himself that he's gonna have, which is still stupid. You could have had a cousin with a different last name do it, but whatever. You got Calvin Ridley, he's just gambling, and he loses a whole year's paycheck. And Deshaun Watson, like you said, it hasn't been proven. But it's like you don't settle with that many women if you innocent. You fight that tooth and nail. Right. That's me personally, especially as a millionaire. If I'm a millionaire and I got X amount of women saying I did X, Y, and Z, and I know in my heart of hearts I didn't do anything, this, that, and the third, I'm not settling. You're not getting an ounce of my money. I will take this to the court if I have to, because I have more money to fight this than you do. You're not gonna sit there and do that.
It should have went to the Supreme Court because now it puts pressure on everybody. Now, anything that anybody does is going to the Supreme Court. You got to set that. So it's going to be like, hey, he hit his wife. Boom, you out of here. Hey, you doing this? Boom, you out of here. You got to start letting people get in trouble. Mm-hmm. Whether it be the CEOs, the big wigs, or the players, like they got to get in trouble. And it sucks because he's black. And I don't mean to put the race card in there, but you already know that card's been played.
Absolutely.
Oh, Ben Roethlisberger didn't get that much. Is it just because they make an example out of?
It's like, nah, bro. Wrong is wrong. Like wrong at this point, you gotta you gotta X out. It does look away. I will. It does look away. It does. It definitely does look away. And it's like, at the same time, it's like, well, taking away the fact that there is a racial difference, this is still a man that took potentially advantage of X amount of women. So it needed to be handled. And now I'm curious if this has any precedent for what ends up happening with the whole Miles Bridges thing. Like he hit his wife and went to jail or whatnot. Like, how does this affect how the NBA approaches that? I thought, and like I said, I initially thought he may end up like getting kicked out the league, because it's one of those things like you have to let women know that you're standing with them. Like and it's not, and let's be real, it's not like Miles Bridges is some household name that if he like, oh my God, I can't believe I got this Miles Bridges jersey. Like, you don't care about that. So it's one of those things where it's like, if you set the precedent and get him up out of here and you let everybody else know, I don't care what status you are. If you are doing this to women, if you are abusing women, kids, whoever, you out. And I think it would set a better, it would definitely put you at a different place, because the NBA, in my opinion, has always been more progressive than the NFL. Right. They've been one of the more progressive leagues just kind of forever. So if you really want to take a stance and set yourself apart from your competitors, this is the way to do it. It sounds crappy because it's like a business move instead of what's right, but it's the truth. Yeah. Like if you the NBA, Miles might not have to touch another basketball in the NBA again. He shouldn't. In my opinion. This
WNBA, you got women coaches, women on the sideline. It's like, what?
So
like something's got to give. Either get rid of something's got to give. You know. So
we'll see. Zoo, what you think is going? Do you think anything's going to come from the Miles Bridges situation based off of what happened with the NFL?
I think the NBA handles their like problems a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, I guess since there's less players, it might be a little bit easier to control. And as well, since the league is technically newer, it gave them more like, all right, like a lot more control. I don't know. I feel like Adam Silver and like Stern before him were a little bit more in tune, whereas like Roger Goodell is more of a dictator. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like Adam Silver actually listens to, even though he probably has his NLL be all, he probably listens to the people around him. Mm-hmm. Whereas Goodell is more like, nah, if I want it this way, I want it this way. Mm-hmm. And so it helps. I think the NBA handles all their situations, whether they be better or not. And yeah, I feel like with Miles Bridges, I think that should be damn near over with. Because it's like, now it's like Miles Bridges is on the court with Steph Curry. And Steph Curry, Mr. Love Your Wife. Mm-hmm. And I got a dude right here who whoops on his wife. And it's or his girlfriend, whoever she was, and now it's like, damn, how do I look at that?
Yeah.
And it's like if Curry doesn't check him, it's like obviously Curry's not gonna check him because he's not gonna risk his career.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like it could look away because it could be like, oh, like this person supposedly loves women, and nobody's hard fought. Like if Miles Bridges is in the game, you have to expect at least, even if you put the 15th man in, someone got to clock him.
Yeah.
And be like, all right, we all stand with women. Like if they did it in baseball when the Astros cheated, they were throwing pitches at him, 100-mile-per-hour pitches at him every game for like the whole season, the season after the cheating happened. And it's like, all right, the NBA player can't put their 15 man and like clock this dude and be like, all right, that's you're gonna try to
suit up, big dog. We need 3 minutes about you.
And 3 fouls.
3 hard.
And that's like that's the bare minimum that can happen when Miles Bridges is in there, because then it sends a message like, oh, we all stand with women, so we're gonna clock the shit out of this dude who's like a woman beater. Or like even his teammates.
Yeah.
Like how does LaMelo gonna look kicking
still doing
Bridges
handshakes with him
on the court, dancing? It's like, oh, he's cool with him whipping on his wife.
Oh, so he'll do it.
Yeah.
He whoop on his girl.
The narrative will get flipped so quick, and it's like you too new in the league and you got too much market value behind you to allow it. Like, so how does Mike look potentially re-signing him and stuff like that? How does anybody look? Because this is his free agency year.
It's a players' league, right? I mean, y'all got to decide about this.
Yeah.
Like y'all need to have a meeting.
It's been dead silent, and I think there was a recent picture. He was at some NBA run with I think it was with Trae Young and Victor Oladipo. I don't know how recent that picture was, but people was like, so we just gonna act like it didn't happen. And it looks bad because even if you can't, because maybe you don't decide who's on the court playing with you at these runs. Maybe it's set up by some third party or whatever, but it's still like you just gonna be around it.
You shouldn't be there.
I don't know, man.
If it's any type of official NBA run, it's different if it's some Drew League and hey, just sign up, you can play. That's different.
Yeah.
But if this was an official NBA, like, training run or whatever, then they wrong for that.
We'll see what happens. I'm very interested. Is there anything else before we close?
Nah, I mean, G-Baby has to get out of here, but we could talk about your movie next week.
Yes. Yeah, he's gonna watch it
today.
He's gonna watch it while he's protecting and serving. So that'll definitely be something.
Like, hey, we're put that bomb away, sir. Not having that shit today.
Watching a movie.
Hey, keep it moving.
But we thank y'all for tuning in to yet another exhilarating installment of the Friendly Fire podcast. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can DM us at friendly_fire on IG and Friendly Fire on TikTok. Once again, friendly_fire on IG and Friendly Fire on TikTok. Artists, send your MP3, send your artwork to friendlyfire2021@gmail.com. Once again, friendlyfire2021@gmail.com. If it's music and we like it, it goes on at the end of our podcast. If it's artwork and we like it, it goes on that big blue beautiful wall behind G-Baby. All right, we thank you for tuning in. I am Rico, G-Baby, Zoo, Friendly Fire. Be blessed.
Peace.
Yeah.
That was a good one.